And Zainab had known that morning would be the last time she would hear her mother's voice. She would have clung to it forever. The hospital room in Ibadan was unnaturally quiet. Only the soft beeping of the oxygen machine filled the space. Her mother's hand was thin, fragile, almost weightless in hers. "Never let anyone tell you that you are small," her mother whispered, her voice trembling. "No matter what happens, my strong girl, you will rise." Zainab nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks, not fully understanding that this was goodbye. By nightfall, her mother was gone. The person who had always protected her, who had tucked her into bed with a smile, who had whispered stories about a better world, was gone. And just like that, Zainab's world felt empty. Little did she know, the real struggle was just beginning. 2 years later, her father returned home from a long day in his office with a bright smile. "Zainab, I have someone special I want you to meet," he said. The door opened and a woman stepped in. Auntie Ronke, with a colorful headscarf, a wide smile, and a seemingly warm heart. "Hello, Zainab. I've heard so much about you," she said, handing her a new doll. "I hope we can be friends." For the first time in 2 years, Zainab felt a glimmer of hope. Their house had felt empty, silent, almost haunted. And now, for 6 months, laughter returned. Ronke cooked delicious jollof rice and spicy pepper soup, braided Zainab's hair, and helped her with homework. Zainab began to believe life might finally be normal again. But when her father traveled for work, everything changed. The morning her father left for a 2-week trip to Abuja, Ronke's sweet smile vanished. "Listen, Zainab," she pointed a finger at her. "While your father is away, you will obey me. No playing, no complaining, no dreams of being anything more than a servant in this house." Zainab's heart sank. Her chores suddenly doubled. Sweeping floors, washing dishes, scrubbing toilets, hand-washing clothes. Every day she received only scraps of food, and she slept on a thin mat on the floor. At night, she whispered into her pillow, "Mama, if you can hear me, help me." And in the silence, she smelt jasmine, a familiar scent. A gentle voice whispered, "Be strong, my daughter. I am always with you." Zainab felt a warmth in her chest. Her mother's presence wasn't gone, it was watching over her, giving her strength. Could she survive this new cruelty without giving up? At school, Zainab's teacher, Mrs. Abiola, announced, "There's a National Future Leaders exam. The winner receives a full scholarship to any secondary school in Nigeria." Excitement buzzed in the classroom, but Zainab's stepmother, Ronke, would never allow it. When Zainab ran home to share the news, Ronke's face darkened. "You will not take this exam. You are a house girl, not a scholar." She hit Zainab across the face, leaving a red mark. That night, she locked her in a small storage room with barely any food. Zainab cried until she could cry no more. Then she smelt jasmine again. "Mama, I can't do this alone," she whispered. "I am here, my daughter," her mother said softly. "Your destiny is waiting. You must fight." Could Zainab find a way to study and compete without Ronke finding out? For 3 weeks, Zainab studied in secret after school. Mrs. Abiola helped her with history, mathematics, English, and science. Every night, she whispered to herself, "I am smart. I am strong. I am my mother's daughter." Ronke acted kind when her father returned, but the cruelty returned whenever he left. Still, Zainab endured, driven by the memory of her mother and the hope of a better future. Exam day is approaching, and Zainab has no idea if her hard work will be enough to overcome the wealthier, more privileged students. The hall at the University of Ibadan was massive. Hundreds of students from all over Nigeria, most from prestigious schools, filed in. Zainab, in her worn uniform and borrowed sandals, felt small. Her hands trembled as she opened the exam booklet. But she remembered her mother's words, "Never let anyone tell you that you are small." The written test was grueling. Then came the presentation, My Dream for Nigeria. Zainab spoke about education, poverty, and giving hope to children suffering like she once did. In the interview, she said quietly, "I want to make my late mother proud. She taught me that education is the one thing no one can take from you." The judges nodded in silent admiration. 2 weeks of waiting for results. Could Zainab's secret plan pay off? 2 weeks later, the phone rang. Ronke answered. "Your stepdaughter, she won," the voice asked. Ronke froze. Rage, fear, humiliation. By evening, newspapers, TV stations, and the whole neighborhood celebrated Zainab. Her father returned early from London, tears streaming down his face. He hugged Zainab tightly, promising she would never be mistreated again. Ronke packed and left that night, her cruelty exposed. Life finally seemed fair, but fate had one final twist. At 16, Zainab collapsed in school. She was rushed to the hospital. Tests revealed the truth. She had the same genetic disease that had taken her mother. The doctors gave her about 2 years. She could have given up, but she didn't. She founded a support group for abused children, visited schools, and started journaling her story. Her courage inspired hundreds. Could she leave a mark before her time ran out? On her last day, Zainab held her father's hand and whispered, "I didn't live long, but I lived well." She passed away surrounded by love, knowing she had touched countless lives. Her book became a school staple. Her foundation helped hundreds. People remembered her not for her death, but for her courage, hope, and the strength she carried from her mother's love. And in every corner where children whispered their dreams, the scent of jasmine reminded them someone was always watching, guiding, and believing in them. Some people live for 70 years without truly living. Others live for 17 and leave a legacy that touches eternity. Thanks for watching. Bye.